everyone, Mike Holmes here. This is the Know Your Reno podcast, where listeners will hear from experts from Improve Canada. Whether you're building, designing, renovating, or learning, this podcast is for you. Improve Canada is a fantastic home improvement and education center. You can speak to multiple showrooms about your project needs. Custom furniture, decor, landscaping, general contracting. Get your tiles from one showroom and your countertops from another. You can really mix and match to have the reno of your dreams. Everything you need under one roof.
Hi, my name is Olga and I'll be the host for this week's episode. Today we have Mark from Moose Group talking to us a little bit about how to plan your renovation.
Hi, and thank you for having me. First and foremost, I would like to introduce our company. So the Moose Group is a group of company consists of 3 sister companies: Moose Basements, Moose Condo Renovation, and a newborn this year, Moose Kitchen and Bath.
Congratulations.
Thank you. We're a general contractor company that built to provide one-stop shop experience for customers, starting from idea of the project to the last step of the execution, including your drawings, design, architectural, permit applications, and all construction services you might need.
Fantastic. So you're definitely the perfect person to lead us through what the renovation process actually looks like for the average consumer that may not know and that may be undergoing a major renovation for the first time in their lives.
Well, first step should be definitely understanding the scope of the work to know exactly what would you like to change in your house, renovate or improve. Then go and choose your 3 contractors that you're going to be quoting your project with. Mm-hmm. We also think that a good step would be to go and read the reviews and see if they're licensed, if they're legally to work in your city, because every city has their own licensing process the company should undertake to be a licensed contractor for that or this city. And of course, check their insurances, if those up to date, WSIB, make sure they're legit. And after that, start pricing your project.
So you said that we should choose 3 contractors. What are the parameters that we should be looking at when deciding maybe to go with one over the other 2?
When you get their quote, look into it, see how detailed the quote is, educate yourself on what's included, what not included, if there is any gray areas or unforeseen stuff in a contract that can come up as extra charges later, or you get in all-in deal with no gray areas and you know exactly what you get in and how much you're paying. I think that would be the crucial factor for me if I would choose a contractor.
Right. So you want to have it all laid out. You want to know exactly what's going to happen. Definitely. So that you're prepared.
Yeah, you don't want to have any surprises or hidden fees for sure.
Yeah. So why is it so important to choose someone who's licensed as a contractor versus someone who's, like an uncle that knows how to build things and is really good around the house?
Well, first of all, I would never recommend to deal with family. That's for sure. And if you're choosing between a reputable contractor who's insured and bonded versus the Joe from the truck, there's a couple of scenarios that might happen to you. First, they will take your deposit and you will never answer her phone again.
Does that happen often?
Yes, we hear that stories often. People call us and we give this guy a deposit. He brought some material and my $15,000 or $20,000 gone now. Mm-hmm. It's been 6 months. He never showed up. Now we don't know where to find him. Or another bad story would be something goes wrong a year or 2 after, and there is no insurance to cover, and there is no licenses to find people who ever did work in your house, especially if it's plumbing or electrical, which is important part of the project, and people who are actually doing that kind of work must be licensed and insured. And if you don't obtain those permits or you do work under the table, you might get penalty, then you might get trouble with your insurance for your home.
So that, I'm assuming, goes for also the, DIY, do-it-yourself kind of renovators?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, if you want to paint a wall in your home, just the wall, just do it. But if you're trying to go through major renovation and you are going to pull wires or fix pipes, then make sure you hire a licensed person to do so.
Do you have any personal horror stories that you can tell us? Because you've been in this business for a really long time, and I'm assuming you've had some projects that maybe you were fixing after scenarios like this that you've just mentioned. Do you have any fun ones that stick out?
Yeah. Well, as I said, we always get those calls when contractor just takes the money and they bring a couple 2x4s and they just leave. But I think it was last year in Etobicoke, we were building a custom home for a client. And 2 streets down from that property, believe it or not, there was a house that fell down on its side and actually damaged the neighbor home, because builder who started to build the home was not the licensed builder, and they didn't really know what they're doing. They forgot to build a metal structure, I-beams. They kind of built a wood structure on top of concrete, but never attached the wood to concrete with metal. And after a strong wind, 2-story building was just on its side. Neighbors were not happy about it at all.
I wouldn't be happy if that happened to my house.
Well, I bet.
Because not only do you have a house now that you have to look at that someone has to come to, I'm assuming it has to get demolished, right?
Right. And the neighbor's home as well. It was all over the news.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Because you can't just like put it back up.
No. Unfortunately.
That's not how it works.
And you also have to remember that building codes and building permits are different for different municipalities. And you have to make sure that when you apply, you know exactly what this or that city hall requires, because the application process might be different and a set of drawings might be different. And as I already said, every contractor who works in that municipality must be licensed by the city hall. So let's say Toronto, Richmond Hill, Thornhill, they're all Markham, they all have their own city halls. You have to go through the process of applying for a legal permit to work in that city.
So like a contractor from Toronto may not necessarily be eligible to work on a property in Richmond Hill if they're not licensed in Richmond Hill.
Yes, that's how it is from last year now.
Wow, that's new.
Yeah, they changed it, and because they changed it because there was companies applying for one license and trying to do work all over. And the city halls are different and the requirements are different. So now you have to go through a licensing process for every city hall separately.
So it's definitely going to be a major consideration as you're picking a contractor, because some of those neighborhoods are so close, but you may actually not be able to work right with a contractor that you want if they're not licensed.
Yes, and then from February, if I'm not mistaken, 2022, by law enforcement will enforce contractors and check for their licenses, and there should be posted on a truck windshield, or you should have a paperwork ready for you.
Wow. So that'll be a major consideration that clients are going to have to do.
Yeah.
I'm Mike Holmes. I've been trying to educate people on how to build it right, how to prioritize your renovations, and how to pick products and materials that will last. We love speaking to the Improve experts about how they are supporting the skilled trades. This is important to us, and it takes a whole community to stand behind the effort. Visit ImproveCanada.com to start your home improvement project the right way. Subscribe to the Know Your Reno podcast to learn more about how to renovate it right. And if you do see me at Improve Canada, please come by and say hi. Hope you enjoy the podcast and keep making it right.
So now that you've narrowed down your contractor, you've got the 3 quotes, you've narrowed down to 1, what would be the first step in actually working with a contractor to undergo the entire process?
Well, first and very important step would be putting in the permit application to understand first which kind of permit you're going for, and then prepare your application and drawings and get it all approved.
So you said what kind of permit that you're going for. Are there different kinds of permits?
Yeah, and there's 2 major differences between the permits. If you want to do just a simple renovation, you're not moving any walls, there's no structural involvement, then you go for basic renovation permit. It's an easy approval, 10 business days. You have it on your hands, just put it on your window outside, and you're good to go. Then there is major building and demolition permit, which you should go for if you're planning to make a bigger openings, removable, or start replanning the space inside, or adding any windows or doors to your property. That will take a little bit more time because you would have to create a full set of architectural drawings and make sure you submit all the application needed by the city, stamp it all, and that can take somewhere between 3 and 12 weeks to be reviewed. And then city will give you an answer, yes or no. Sometimes they will take your proposal to committee of adjustment as a minor variance. They will talk to your neighbor to see if they're okay with what you wanted to do, and they will give you yes or no answer.
So the committee of adjustment, that just means that if you're doing something that's going to change the outside, the exterior drastically of your house, or just, if you're like adding on a second floor or something, right?
Both of those. Sometimes it's adding square footage to the home or changing appearance because some of the streets, downtown core and midtown, they're supposed to look in a certain way. We're supposed to keep the heritage of the city untouched, so that all the changes should go through approvals first.
So basically, you're not able to start any work until you get all the necessary permits in place, right?
Most definitely. And if anyone tells you opposite, do not listen. Don't do it.
Just wait out the 3 to 12 weeks if you're doing anything crazy, and then just start with a clean slate.
Well, yeah. Even if you would like to add, like, let's say several plugs in your home, you still need a permit. Maybe it's not a renovation permit, but ESA permit. But there's always paperwork involvement, and you should get your permit and a permit number for your peace of mind, for insurance purposes. God forbid something happens, you will never get it back.
So because we are in the GTA, and you mentioned the downtown core and keeping the heritage, I know you do a lot of condo renovations, and you also do a lot of just single family homes. Is there a difference in permits between condos and residential, or do you need extra permits for condos?
Yes, there is, and it's a great question. As you might know, as everybody should know, that the condo buildings are managed by management company, and those always present all the projects to the board of directors. And a board of directors meeting can be every month or every quarter. So after getting all approved by the city, we should send a proposal to the management corporation, and they will present it to the board of directors. And only after getting their okay on already okay project by the city, you should start your renovation.
So the management company says no go, it's
a no-go.
Okay. So there's no leniency with that?
Not at all.
Okay. So now that you have obtained all the necessary permits, you waited your 3 to 12 weeks, did not start any work. What do we do now that we have the green light to actually start the renovation process?
Well, now the big step would be design. So design of the project is crucial, as design has 3 major steps. First is a layout. This step always work together with architectural team and make sure that the space would be comfortable to use and it's going to be working in the best interest of the homeowner and we don't lose any space. Then there is always material selection. That should be done before we start any project because some of the finishing materials today are back ordered and you want to buy them before you actually start doing anything. Third and very important step would be interior design. So that would be your furniture placement, built-ins, and that would actually determine how comfortable the space would be and how cozy your house would be after we finish.
So design encompasses kind of all of the architectural stuff, right? We're not just talking about furnishing a room or whatever, right? So we're encompassing all of those stages. We're encompassing the layout. We're encompassing the architectural drawings as well. That's all in the design stage.
This is correct. Designers should always work side by side with architectural department to make sure that we get the best of the both world and they do not overlap with their ideas.
Yeah. And so we've talked a little bit, you mentioned materials and especially being back ordered and shortage. And that I'm assuming is very prevalent now, especially in COVID-19, right? Where we're seeing a lot of these major supply chain issues. Is there a way that you're getting around that right now?
Well, supply chain was one big disaster, if I may say so, in the last couple of years. Yes, in Moose Group, we came up with the idea of ordering all the finishes material before we start the project. So we have our warehouse where before we start the project, we would buy everything you need to the door handles. We stock it all, and then we will start.
So you're getting it land way ahead, right? So you have to have an entire plan solidified before you personally would undertake a project.
Absolutely. Design should be signed, material selection should be chosen, and there is no more changes after that. If you would like to have any change done, that will definitely delay your project.
So once you have all of that complete, you have a set of drawings, you know what your materials are, you know what the timelines are going to be like. I'm assuming this is when you can get a finalized budget and you can get a really good idea of what this is even going to cost you and how long it'll take.
Yeah, absolutely. The final and accurate, we call it budget, can only be formed after the design stage and the architectural stages completed and material selections was done. This way we can understand the complexity of the project, and we can also estimate the cost of the finishing materials, and we can estimate if there will be any delays and if there will be any extra cost with deliveries. That's very crucial right now as well.
So when people are in the stage of finalizing their budgets, they're trying to figure out how much money is going to go towards what part of their home. What are the renovations that people should really be allocating a little bit more money towards, a little bit more budget, so that they are yielding a higher value, a higher return on their property value?
Two most expensive part of any renovation project is your kitchen and washroom. My advice, don't cheap out. Make sure you get a good kitchen and make a beautiful washroom that will definitely add value to your home.
Yeah, because I feel like whenever we're looking at real estate listings, we're always looking, what is the kitchen?
And a washroom.
Yeah, like what does the kitchen look like? What are the countertops?
Yeah.
What are the features?
Right.
Absolutely. Are there any other items in the home, maybe like flooring or?
I would say more cabinetry, like built-ins.
Mm-hmm.
Make it functional, make it useful. People really like it. And when you're trying to resell your property, people do look into moving in something very comfortable and
turnkey,
functional.
Yeah, we don't want to deal with the renovations after we've just bought a house.
Well, believe me, you don't.
So kitchen and bath being some of the higher value renovations that you can do to your home. What about some of the factors that people don't think are going to play a role in their budget that actually can up their budget a little bit more than they anticipated?
Well, that's a great question as well. I think the soft cost is something people constantly forget about. It's your drawings, it's your permit, and of course there's rental cost as well. We will never recommend you to stay in your home through the renovation, so make sure you have a budget allocated for your accommodations, whether it's a house or a hotel, whichever you need.
So you talk a lot about design, so I'm assuming design is an integral part of your process, particularly, right, when you're undergoing any renovation project. We are now in 2022. Do you see people gravitating towards specific styles that they're looking for as they undertake maybe restoring or upgrading some of the features in their house or even their house at all?
Well, yeah. 2021 and I think 22 was gravitating more towards modern design, which is square, clean lines, not too heavy, minimalistic style. I can clearly see that continuing in next year. I think lately people gravitating more towards modern styles, clean lines and minimalistic design. Although if I think about our clients right now, we have so many and they're all so different. We have designs from classic to mid-century lofts like 50s and 60s to transitional shaker style kitchens, and those are very popular as well. So we're all over the place, but everybody trying to be unique. So there is no straight line in design, as it's very personal, I would say.
Very cool. And I feel like the more time we spend in our homes, the more we kind of figure out what works for us, what styles we're gravitating towards, right? Because everyone just sort of started renovating because they realized they don't actually like their house.
Well, they also realize there is nowhere to go. There is no change, and you have to stay in your home. So you want to make sure it's beautiful.
You want to make sure
love
it's
it.
yours.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So I definitely think that contributes to the very unique rise in style. And I'm sure you're seeing a lot of that. And we're creating these oasis-like spaces that we just want to hang out in all the time. No one wants to leave their house anymore.
Right. Yeah, totally right. People work more from home. They stay in home more. And we have customers creating their own in-home gyms and offices. Yeah, houses are becoming homes these days.
Finally, it's about time.
Yeah.
So what about some of the challenges that you faced in this new era? Because I'm sure you mentioned, home offices, gyms. I'm sure that's something that you didn't do a lot of previously before the pandemic. Are there any other challenges or features that you're seeing pop up as you go through and navigate this pandemic with the rest of us?
Well, I will repeat myself, but home offices start being very popular right now, especially with people who's finishing their lower part of their home, their basements. They all want to have their own private space to kind of work from, because most of them have kids, and it's very noisy when you have kids at home. And you want to just close the door and go on your Zoom call and make sure that you're not getting disrupted by anything.
Yeah, and I'm sure home offices is going to be something that, as people are buying homes, this is definitely a feature that everyone's going to be looking towards, because I don't see the work from home tendency stopping anytime soon. I think we're definitely that's going to be a staple now in everyone's house as a home office.
I agree. Yeah, I think so too.
Thank you so much for being here, Mark. If anyone wants to get in contact with Mark to plan out your next renovation and hire him as a licensed contractor, we'll have all the links down in the description below. You can make an appointment at Improved Canada and then talk to Mark directly, and he'll walk you through everything you need to get done.
Our pleasure every time. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Know Your Reno. If you would like to get in touch with today's speaker or any of our large number of showrooms at Improved Canada, please check the description for a link to book an appointment with us at Canada's largest home improvement center. Don't forget to keep in touch with us on our socials, and we will see you next week for another value-packed episode to make your next home renovation a breeze.